get, better, and or it will help you in life, and that kind of puts you at ease, yes, then probably this is your person.
Okay.
Because you have to just kind of see if that resonates with what's inside of you. um,
Yeah. Thank you.
you
That
have
that
to
makes sense.
have your inner trust. Yeah.
Yeah. So to kind of answer a couple just basic questions, in my opinion, I don't know, maybe they're not. Everybody talks about Mercury retrograde. What does that mean? And does it affect everybody the same? You're rolling your eyes, so I don't know.
Yes, yeah, because what is astrology? Oh, yeah, that's Mercury retrograde.
Right.
Yeah, so Mercury goes into this slow mode when it goes around the eclipse. So 3 times a year. So 3 times a year, it kind of slows down, but it doesn't go backwards. It's just the Earth is still going at its speed, but Mercury is not. So for us, looking at Mercury, oh, I think it's going backwards, but it's not. But still, this kind of nickname stuck with it. So Mercury shows that in those 3 times that it slows down, it's kind of the time when you have to kind of don't do anything new, but hey, slow down yourself and just think, oh, let me see what piled up on my desk. Let me go through things. Let me try to finish or redo or start something that I meant to start, in terms of, yeah, I started, but then um, like sort of um, didn't never finished. And this is the time universe gives you to kind of go back and redo. So yes, people are kind of, their concentration is not really at 100% at those times. So this is where the problem becomes, that if you're not at your 100% concentration, sometimes you can miss stuff. Yes, you may miss, people say, oh, don't book your air tickets. Don't. Yes, you can book your air ticket. Just look at everything before you click that, done, finished. You have to just be on the check what you do. So a lot of astrologers, they just say, oh, just don't do, just don't travel, don't do this, don't sign anything. Right, yes, but if you started something, you can still sign. You just be careful, read everything, so you wouldn't regret it afterwards.
Okay.
So things like that, basically,
Mhm.
yes, because the concentration kind of not clear,
Okay.
it's hazy.
Yeah.
So and also for people who in their charts were born during Mercury retrograde, it may feel differently a little bit. They may be a little bit more sharper. Yes, maybe it would work in their favor. So there's little things here and there, but mainly, you're not gonna tell a pilot not to fly. It's Mercury retrograde. No,
Right. Right. Yeah, that answers my question then. I understand where people are coming from with it, but it's so hard to know like what what it is if nobody actually explains it. Um as far as so I just want to like circle back to the your whole purpose. Do you utilize astrology in other people's health and medical anything? Like do you give advice that way or like how does it kind of work into your everyday job?
Mhm. So at my job, I do not, because I don't know people, and I work in a hospital, um, and to open up a natal chart, you have to know, more than just date of birth. You have to know where they were born, the
Right.
time of birth, and this is not ethical to ask. If people
That's what
are
I thought.
seeking that, yes, yes, no, no, I don't. So I don't. And but astrology does have a part where it's called medical astrology. So going back to my story, um, when I kind of was losing my memory, and looking for answers, I basically, one of things that I can work with my Mercury is study a language. So I started studying Spanish, and trust me, my memory is very sharp. That's it. So it all works. So yeah, I used what needed to be used
Mhm.
for specific things, and it works. Um,
Yeah,
yes.
I like that. I like that a
And
lot.
in basically, yeah, medical astrology is where each planet is responsible for part of the body. And once, a person that comes in and says, hey, I don't know what's going on, I've been feeling this and this lately, we can identify the planet. I can look at the chart, see prognosis, and see when it ends. What's the possibility of this ending, and can give specific instructions, and they wouldn't be only like, yeah, study a language. Some of them, and most of them, a lot of them actually need, hey, this what I think is going on, but I think you should go and see, um, a physician. I
Yeah.
see this kind of
Yeah.
person at this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm gonna have to send my mom. She's probably listening to this when it's on. Mom, you need to see an astrologer for your pain. um, yeah, that's awesome. I don't think anybody really realizes that the planets align with different parts of the body and how this is like a whole other way to address pain and address medical issues that a lot of people I feel like don't understand or know. So, and I think one of the like selling points for me to believe in all of this, like I know it's real and whatever, but like to actually, believe it has anything to do with our lives and us is just the fact that the tides go with the moon, like just knowing that that is a thing. How are we not impacted, by the planets and everything? Like there's so much energy. So how do you
Yeah.
is there like a go-to thing that you say to people to like get them to realize this is quote unquote real or like that it's beneficial to know?
um, so in on my blog, I obviously I this is my whole idea of the blog, to introduce astrology to just regular people. Um, and I'm kind of showing how it works. Every case that I present, every post that I make, I show. But if their person is not interested, I can't make them to be interested. So they kind of have to have the interest. Um, there are obviously people who are not in tune with anything. They're not spiritual or anything or whatever. They're not. So they live their life, and that's it. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to. I'm not one of those people who would say this is it, it's working,
Right.
and
Right.
no one can say for 100%. I mean, look at the quantum physics. Is it 100%? And I'm into quantum physics. I love that, but going into tiny particles and, so the tiny, like, is this really real? We can't see. It's not real. We can't see. It's not physics. It's quantum physics. It's just out there somewhere. Right.
Right.
It's out there. Not every single mathematical equation can be explained. Some things are uncertain, and we still believe it. So,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think a lot of people listening are possibly open minded, but the reason I'm bringing Elena on is to show you how many ways you can learn more about yourself. There's astrology, but there's also like human design, there's Enneagram, and all different things that you can learn more about yourself. And as she said, you can identify with the things or resonate with it or not. And, you kind of find what works for you. But I think it's always worth getting all the information about yourself, learning more about yourself to live your most authentic, confident, happy life, knowing that you have even like a reason why you feel a certain way or a reason why you feel this pushback when you're trying to do things. It's just, for me, it helps me a lot. And I'm happy to have had Elena on to kind of share that with you guys. So is there anything else that you think any beginner would need to know or would find interesting, or where they can start at all, Elena?
No, I think main things would be just to know how to get in emotional balance, and you can just look at where your moon is and just read up on how to, and just use that, because it kind of needs to be used every single day to actually be in balance.
Mm-hmm.
um, and know your sun sign, because this is yourself, and when you kind of do what your sun for you meant to do, things like resourceful state, being happy comes in. So it's all plus to yourself. You can create things knowing what you are, knowing what your sun sign is. So things like that.
Yeah.
For a child, it's good to know if your child's moon sign is where, and how to um, work with it. It's gonna help you to raise your kids, because you would know approach towards them, and they would become your best friends. You don't have to fight with them
Yeah.
because you will know them.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Uh,
I have a 1-year-old now. He just turned 1, so I'm definitely going to do that. Our birthdays are very close, 2 days apart. So I'd be interested to see.
yeah, but it may not mean anything, because his planets are maybe in a different. So yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
relevant.
I understand. Yeah.
But at least knowing the moon
Mhm.
is very important,
Right.
at least until the child becomes 3 years old, when the sun, basically whatever sun represents, starts actually work to
Okay.
work. It's at 3 years old.
Cool.
So until three, moon sign is your best friend.
Okay. I will look at that. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. Where can people find you? I'll put all the information in the show notes and on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, but if you just want to share, like if you have a website and stuff like that.
Yes. So the most easier is to find me on Instagram. I'm at astrology.rising. Um, and yes, I have my website. It's also in that Instagram account. Um,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Elena. And thank you for everybody for listening. I hope you guys got a lot out of that. I know that if you pulled your chart and or were writing notes or both, I know that there's a lot to learn and a lot you can use moving forward, especially that emotional side of you. As Elena was saying, it can help you so much to stay in balance. So let me know what you think of the this episode. Tune in to her Instagram. She posts very regularly, as far as I've seen, different things and ways to think about astrology, and she features different signs. So that's really cool. And if you have any questions for Elena or any other astrologers I might have in the future, let me know. I'd love to talk more about it. And I hope that you use all the tools you learned today to live a more authentic, confident, happy life. Thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys soon.